So I'm going to talk to you about what the sort of public policy landscape in America is like. In most states, not my home state of California, but most states, there are efforts to ban abortion. And they couch it in a lot of different ways. 6 weeks, by the way, that's way before most women even know they're pregnant. It's called the Heartbeat Bill, Ohio, and many other states, all the way up to 20 weeks. So let me make this real in a story way. If you are past 20 weeks pregnant and you are seeking abortion care, one of a few things has happened. One, all the other bad laws that have stopped you from accessing care have delayed your care to too late, including being able to find the financing for it. Or you have been to a crisis pregnancy center, a fake women's health center that has delayed your care. Or if you did, that is when you start getting your, if you had DNA testing or genetic testing, that's when you get the results. That's when you start to find out, do I have a healthy pregnancy? Is this a pregnancy that is viable? And I can tell you, as somebody who has had an abortion and who has had children, those genetic testing are scary moments. And you're either grateful or you're making really difficult decisions. And if you have no time to make that decision, it's powerful, because no matter, the story about abortion is that most women, if you are white and wealthy, you can find abortion, and that's true, unless it's after 20 weeks in America. Because after 20 weeks in America, there are only 4 or 5 providers in the country, and they are backed up. And so nothing can get you an appointment if you're just out of luck. So those are laws that are being passed in 35 or 36 states right now. Some states have already passed them. Some have been enjoined because they are patently unconstitutional. Others are still moving forward. And fun fact, the U.S. Senate, the federal Congress and Senate have been trying to pass a 20-week abortion ban for a long time, and it's only by the grace of 1 or 2 Republican women senators that they have not been able to achieve that goal. And that would impact all states, including California and New York. So that's one bucket. Abortion bans are one bucket of policies that we are dealing with. Another one are what are called trap laws, targeted regulation of abortion providers, and I know Dr. Parker can talk to this much better than I can. These are laws that are specifically aimed only at doctors who provide abortion care. Not colonoscopies, not eye doctors, nothing that is in fact more dangerous than getting an abortion. And they include a wide range of issues, and they can be from last year's Supreme Court case or 2 years ago Supreme Court case requiring that a center be an ambulatory surgical center, so a place where you could actually do open heart surgery, or and all you're actually doing is giving out some pills. You don't need to be able to perform open heart surgery. You need to be able to have admitting privileges in a hospital. Again, nice in theory, but in reality, abortion is one of the safest outpatient procedures in America, and very, very, very few people end up at an ER. And by the way, if you do end up needing hospital care, the hospital has to take you in the ER. They can't say, oh, this is related to an abortion, go someplace else. So these trap laws are now one of the first areas of law that we have been able to impact and start to say, no, these actually do create an undue burden on women's health, and they are moving there. But states are still passing different kinds of trap laws. Sometimes they target it right down to where a clinic is being built. Suddenly the local ordinances are, oh, you can't have a front door and a back door. You have to have a side door. The grass has to be cut to a certain length, or you have to have a certain number of parking spots. I mean, all of these things are the reality trying to drive abortion providers out to close their doors and stop providing care. Another area are biased counseling and mandatory delay. So the patriarchy in this is hard to avoid. A bunch of guys in legislatures think that they should pass laws that may require women to think for 24 hours, 48 hours, or if you're in South Dakota, 72 hours about whether or not you get an abortion. And in South Dakota, ladies, just so you know, you can't think on weekends or holidays because those days don't count as part of your 72.
Actually, 7 states have a 72-hour ban.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Missouri actually has the worst abortion laws in America.
Yes.
Yay.
Get to work. So those are, that's another bucket. And then you have consent laws. You know, so you have parental consent and parental notification laws. And then you have 3 or 4 states, one of which is Oklahoma, that actually is trying to pass a law. And in some states it's passed and it's been enjoined. And it says this: the man, the partner, the potential father, has to agree to the abortion, or you can't get it. And if he is not available, your next closest male relative can stand in. Hi, Dad. Hi, little brother. I mean, what? We can laugh about that kind of law, but I can tell you that in this movement, we have been laughing about laws or ideas for laws that are now law. And so they are persistent, and they do not take failure lightly. They keep going until the circumstances all align for them. So I will just conclude by saying not only is it frightful, because it is, but it is also hopeful. And the reason it is hopeful is because so many of these laws are so egregious, and it is happening in such a much more dynamic and exposed way that more and more people are getting more active. The idea of talking about abortion, we have been asking people to share their stories for as long as I have been involved in this movement, and people now are. And it's partly the tools on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, et cetera. But it's also because we realize our silence and the silence of all communities on this issue is actually complicit in having the other side win. Bringing shame, bringing stigma, or silence is the same as supporting the other side.